No.
No, that's bad. Welcome back to Growing Pains, episode 7. I'll be honest, we haven't got any topics planned. We're just going with the flow because that's what we do here.
We just freestyle it, don't we? So what we are going to speak about is now we have started sort of going through our own self-development journey, personal growth. When you look at people now, like, what do you see? So as in, do you see your old self? Do you see like pain? Do you see, can you empathize? Like, how was your position changed from when you used to hate people like I used to now?
Yeah. So I was actually having this conversation with Vinny the other day after our weekend with a lot of people. You know, when you spend a lot of time you spend time in a group of people, you get to now doing what we do, analyze on a deeper level. And we were basically saying that, or I was saying that I can't not see people's deeper meaning and trauma.
Yeah.
So that's what I see. I don't see a person, I think, all trauma, but I see a person, I see their behaviors, and what I used to take as either just surface level or things that would annoy me about a person is now like a deeper empathy for why they do that in the first place.
What did you think before?
I used to just think this person's annoying.
Just that.
This person's annoying, this person's an idiot, this person's something.
Yeah.
And then I would just class it as like their problem, not mine, even though it's pissing me off, so it's my problem.
So for me, I guess from a guy, I think when I looked at other people, this was probably up until 2016, 2017. I used to think it was weakness.
Okay.
I used to think like, if you can't get up and try and sort yourself out and go to work and do certain things, it's weak. Like, you give up. You know, everyone has a hard upbringing, but some people can make it, some people can't. So what's the difference between those? Effort.
Yeah.
So I never used to give empathy for people that were lazy. I used to think, oh, you're just lazy. I can be lazy, but I choose not to be. So you're clearly choosing to be lazy. And that was a thing. And then as I started, when I was fitness manager, I went on a leadership and management course. I was like, I'm a leader, I've been in the army, I don't need to do a course. However, I wanted to get qualified. So
Right.
I thought if I progressed to general manager and above, I might need a qualification. So I'm thinking long term. So I went on it anyway. And that's when I first discovered about sort of personalities, mindsets, and colour energies.
Okay.
Do you know about colour energies?
No.
So they say there's 4 colour energies: red, blue, yellow, and green.
Okay.
Red is like a dictator.
Right.
Blue is logical, so give me all the detail.
Mm-hmm.
I think green are people that are very social and want to be included in everything. And yellow, I think, are people that are very creative.
Interesting.
And are kind of away with the fairies, just happy to be existing in life.
Okay.
So we end up doing this test, like multiple choice questions. There must be about 80 to 100 questions in there. There must have been 20 people in the room. They all got their results back, and every single one of them, say a 30-page document about you was 100% accurate.
Wow.
About your personality, how to communicate, how you work best, how to speak to you, how to get the best out of you.
Interesting.
And that's when I was like, actually, humans are quite deep, you know? And there was like 11 personality types. So if to say 11 personality types, you've met everyone. You've met everyone there is to meet, because there's only so
just
many
in a different body.
personalities.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So then you start to see that everyone's the same.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, how can I get the best out of my PTs with a different approach? Some people do respond to get the fuck up and get it done. Other people need a hug around them. Other people need stuff breaking down. So it's like, well, how can I maybe be a better manager and get the best out of my staff through doing this course? And that's why I did it. But I opened my eyes up to different approaches and just showing a bit more empathy.
Yes.
That's probably the biggest thing I learned, to empathise with people, because we're all from different backgrounds.
I genuinely think that is a skill that many managers and leaders in general miss. And I've managed salons before. I've been in like other management roles, and it's been an absolute nightmare because I've never understood how to work with people. But I feel like I was going to say in business, but in the world, we don't work on a people to people level. We work on like a machine to machine level.
Yeah.
And we ignore all the bits that come underneath that, which is why we're all stuck in the problems that we're stuck in, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, empathy is a big thing that lacks in the world. And I think a lot of things would be fixed if we had more empathy. But that empathy can only come when you have empathy for yourself.
Precisely. So when I was hating people and hating everything about them, it was literally what I hated about myself.
Exactly that.
I had no patience for other people. I didn't have patience for myself.
That's what I see now. Because I'm still surrounded by quite a lot of people haters, and I just accept them as they are now,
Yeah.
and I know why they're like that because I know why I was like that. But it's the pity party people. So it's the people that will sit there moaning about other people who, I don't know, don't have the same money as them, or don't, I don't know, have the same effort, or whatever it is they don't have, or that annoys them about them. That's what I see now in that person. It's just instantly, okay, so you don't like that about yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. So if I say they, but I also was like this. I would moan about things that I had no awareness of, that I was also part of.
Yeah.
I was also of that archetype.
Yeah.
This was actually one of the biggest realizations I had in my deep journey, was that I hated narcissists, but I was the narcissist myself. And that's a fucking harsh thing to face. Doesn't mean I'm not a narcissist all the time, but it means you have the traits of what you dislike.
We're going to come back to that on the next one anyway.
With
male, female.
Let's go into it, because I feel like this is where we're going with the empathy thing.
Okay.
So go on, what are you going to say?
Okay, so I've been called a narcissist. So what I used to say to that is, just because you have a trait of something doesn't make you as that.
Yeah.
So you've been a hairdresser. If I were to cut someone's hair 3 times, does that make me a barber?
Yeah, no.
So how many times do you have to do something to be that? So when
Yeah.
people are like, oh, he's a narcissist. What, because he displayed one trait?
Yeah.
I think it's now just sort of a trigger word.
Yes.
But there is female narcissists.
Of course.
But-
Plenty of them.
But you don't hear about them. You only hear about male narcissists.
Yeah, it's very true.
And I've experienced female narcissism firsthand. And
How does
it's
that show up for you?
same as a male, I guess. But in my mind,
Yeah, but it would look different, wouldn't it? Because you don't presume it's that.
no, you think it's trauma.
That's interesting.
So because it's
Because narcissism is trauma.
well, because it's a female probably doing it to a male, a male can show more empathy towards a female because you're like, well, I kind of get it.
Okay.
Whereas I don't think a woman empathizes as much towards a guy. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but it also doesn't, because women are naturally more emotional, empathetic.
Okay, so have you ever heard a man call a woman narcissist?
I haven't, no.
Precisely. So how many women have you heard call men narcissists?
Plenty.
So this is what I'm trying to get at. Men don't recognise it because of the show them empathy straight away towards it. I think, oh, it's just how women are. They're emotional. They might be broken, so we'll just accept it. But it's how much are you willing to accept of that behaviour? Does that make sense? Because men already carry feeling of unworthiness.
Mm-hmm.
So we will put up with a lot of things in order to feel worthy, but we can't recognise toxicity and narcissism between someone that's just emotionally irregulated.
Yeah.
Because we don't understand our own emotions. Whereas if we understood our own emotions, we were able to identify a lot quicker.
See, but this is where it's interesting, because women not getting titled narcissists, I believe there's something there, because that's a pattern that I've only just realized now, as you said it, that women don't get called it. But the fact that they don't get called it also has to loop back to why they are a narcissist in the first place.
Yeah.
Which means that they've probably had narcissistic behavior towards them.
Yeah.
Whether it's from a man or a woman, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But then how does it make sense that men are more empathetic? Because that's like part of our big debate in coaching, is what we see is that men are more closed off.
Okay, well, so, yeah, you are right. So I guess when I say empathetic, I guess we pretend.
Okay.
Majority,
or you're less
because
interested in labelling it. You're less interested
yeah.
in labelling the thing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
Because I feel when I met someone, I take them for everything that they are. So if I were to meet a woman, I don't need anything from that woman other than them, their time.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need, because I think I can supply everything, and I don't need anything. Whereas I think when a woman needs a man, you need to tick certain boxes.
See, that's mad, because when you said that, when I meet a woman, all I need from her is her time. If you ask a woman, that's the same thing for the man. A woman who's aware.
Yeah, we're generalising, aren't we, obviously?
Of course. But that's an important thing to speak about, because it's very assumed that women look for certain things from men. And yes, there's safety, there's blah, blah, blah. But it's also that we literally want the same thing as the man wants. It just looks different.
Yeah, so would you get with a guy that had no job, no ambition?
Knowing me like how I am now?
Yeah.
No ambition is mad. No job is different. No ambition is a different
Okay,
level.
but a guy can get with a woman with no ambition and no job.
A guy can get with a woman with no ambition and no job.
But generally, a woman wouldn't do that for a guy because they need something in the future. They need that safety. They need physically something from that man.
Wouldn't that jar you, though, if you're with a woman that had no ambition? Forget the job or the money.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. As a guy, that's you don't look for anything. We just want someone that's going to be there for us.
But is that... Okay, no. What's a no ambition to you? No ambition for career or just ambition full stop?
Yeah, like
okay,
career.
Fine.
Yeah.
That I get.
Yeah.
But yeah,
whereas I guess... Yeah, so I'm trying to think if I look at someone like previously characteristics, what do I need from a lady? I'd be like, well, I guess I want them to be maternal. You know, if you want a family, you want them to be that way inclined.
Mm-hmm. Men are just easier to please.
It's hard though because I've been so self-sufficient. I can cook, I can clean, I can pay my own bills, I can do all that. So it's like, well, what can a woman provide for me?
So I guess the conclusion is that women go into relationships for providing, for a sense of needing to be provided for.
Yeah.
And men go into relationships for nurturing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Family.
See, this is where we get stuck in the cycles of why relationships break down because we don't realize that's what we're going in for in the first place.
Precisely. Yeah. We don't know what we want.
We don't know what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah. What helped you realize what you wanted?
This work.
Okay.
Because I've been called narcissistic before. I've been called cold, shut off, and unavailable. That's where I was going with it. But it's like, well, I've not been taught any of those things, and the person that should have taught me should have been my mum.
Okay.
So a man can't teach another man if he's not been taught emotions, how to feel in emotions. That's the job of a woman because they're emotional and men are logical.
Yeah, but then was your mum emotionally attuned?
No, this is what I mean.
Right.
But then because I weren't that, I've grown up and been called a narcissist by the same women that are emotionally regulated.
Yep.
Does that make sense? But it kind of that responsibility in the first place to teach a man those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So I've grown up 36, 37 years old thinking, why am I still narcissistic, unavailable and shut off? Because I weren't taught it as a kid.
Yeah.
So all my life I've been that unknowingly and been called this by other women. It's like, well, I've never been taught it. How can I portray and show that? That's why I could never show up in a relationship because I weren't taught how to love. I weren't shown how to love. Whereas a woman kind of knows how to receive love. So it's like, well, I can't give you that because I haven't been taught it, but you know what you want. So what do I do with that? I have to pretend.
See, it's interesting though, because the pattern is the same. It's again, we're generalizing here, but you're saying that, first of all, the important distinction you just made is taught how to love and shown how to love.
Yeah.
Because when we say like we weren't taught this as kids, I think a lot of people assume that we're supposed to have been sat down and like, this is how you are in relationships or this is how you are with people. Yeah. No, it's just that it wasn't demonstrated in your parenting. Yes. It wasn't demonstrated to you as a child how to receive that. So then therefore you can't give it.
Yes.
So there's that. But then there's also you're saying like that women come into relationships knowing what they want. But I think a lot of the time that's knowing what they want from not having had it for the same reason from the childhood, from parenting. Because it's not now that we see we're in a relationship with a man, we know we're seeing what we don't want. And so therefore we know what we want. It's that we never got it in the first place. So now I'm telling you, I'm already coming into this place knowing this is what I didn't have, but this is what I need.
Yes.
Generally speaking.
Yeah. So, that's a good question. So from that then, if you're going into a relationship knowing what you want and need, do you have to give that to yourself first before your partner gives it to you?
Yes, the biggest question. Yes.
It's so complicated.
You have to
because so from my perspective, I've always met someone who's wanted you need to give me this.
Yeah, and I have no responsibility over it whatsoever.
Yeah. You need to give me that because you're the guy and I have no involvement. It's like, well, no.
Yeah, this goes back.
That's not my responsibility.
Yeah, this goes back to if you're aware, you're responsible. Because if you are coming into something aware already that you need X, Y, and Z, but you're taking no responsibility of that, then you're emotionally relying on another person to give you the thing that you need.
Yes, and that'll never be enough.
It will never be enough because you're not giving it to yourself first. And if you're not giving it to yourself first, you don't even know what it looks like. And you don't know what it feels like and you're not able to receive it.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're always putting those pressures on the other person to give it to you in the right way or for you to be able to even receive it is the other person's fault still. So if you can't give it to yourself or even know what it feels like, then how can the other person?
Because I've sat there and I said, how do you want me to respond to that? How do you want me to love you? I don't know. So if you don't know, How
How
can
do
I
I
give
know?
you that?
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. You know what you need, your needs are. So if you can't articulate that to me, then how can I help?
Yeah.
No, you need to. It's your job.
This is actually one of the things that me and Vinny face a lot is the I don't know problem. And I say to him every time, I can't work with I don't know, because I don't know just means that you've not been able to access what that part of you needs. And until you do that, I can't give it to you either, and vice
Yeah.
versa. But that's, I think, a lot of the issues that relationships face is expecting the other person to know the solution to something
Yes.
that you're facing.
Yes.
But how can they? Because they don't have your blueprint.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
So what do we do in those situations?
Do you know what I was thinking about this driving in? Like the golden question, we even ask each other all the time, like, can one person who's aware and one person who's unaware be together,
work.
coexist?
Yeah.
Does it work? Can it work? And I'd love to be able to say yes wholeheartedly. I just don't know.
I think, can a person who's doing the work,
Hyphenated.
hyphenated, be with a person who's not? I think it can work to a certain extent, because I think what that depends on is how much the person who's not doing the work trusts the guidance of the other.
Yeah.
Because if that person is willing to take on advice and willing to take it from someone who's doing the deeper work, then you can go in a place that is aligning. You can work together in a direction.
Yeah.
If that person is very guarded by their own wounds, their own trauma, their own shadows, they're going to probably find it really hard to trust and take guidance. So that's going to create some dynamic that's going to be constantly butting heads. I'm saying because I've been in that phase of the relationship myself.
Yeah.
So it depends how willing.
Yeah. And I guess then because you're the hyphenated aware one, you have to drop your barriers, your boundaries.
And your standards, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To fit that other person who's not at your standard.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
For how long?
Which will always then mirror to you. So guys who are in a relationship that you don't think you need to be in, or you shouldn't be in, this is for you. This will always then mirror to you how deep you're actually doing the work, or how aware of yourself you are. Because if you're staying in something that you don't think you should be in, or isn't aligning to what you want, why are you still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you still there?
I just asked myself this question.
Oh yes.
I said, why? Like, what is it? What is it about me that's wanting to stay in this?
What was it?
Well, you was coaching me. Do you remember?
Yeah, but was that the thing? That was the thing that was keeping you there?
The victimhood.
Yeah. When you asked yourself that question, why am I still here?
Yeah, I think it was the victimhood of wanting something.
How do you mean? Explain. Help the people.
I'm trying to understand so myself, because of my obviously biggest mirror has always been sort of relationships. So it's like, well, people like, you're meant to struggle. It's meant to be hard. You know, you're meant to go through things. And then when you're in this sort of spiritual world, you hear things from soul ties and contracts. And you're like, well, maybe it's meant to be like this and you're meant to work through it. But it's like, to what extent? You know, to what extent do I have to keep putting up with this toxic behaviour in order to find happiness when I'm not happy about it? It's just that familiar chaos. It's the familiarity of having someone close to you.
Yeah. Comfort. The thing with that is that you can always... How much you stay in a relationship that is not for you is reflecting on how much self-respect you have, yes. Obviously. Yes. Oh, I say obviously, maybe that's not obvious to some people. But yeah, if you're staying in something that you know isn't for you or isn't serving you in any way, and it's just giving you headaches, then that's going to reflect your self-respect. But at the same time, your relationship is always going to be the biggest mirror.
Yeah.
So you're always going to be facing things, and it's the whack-a-mole thing again. If you keep experiencing the same problem in your relationship, then it's the same trauma that you're not facing, or the same pattern that you're not facing, or the same behavior that you're not changing. So yes. it's a testament to how willing you are to face that and break it within that relationship, or leave it and go and find a different situation to repeat it again.
Oh, it's going to show up again.
Yeah.
But it's so hard when you're in there to identify, is it them or is it me? Because this is another conversation as well, because it's always you. Like it's Robert Edward Grant, it's a you inverse.
Yeah.
Like your thoughts create your reality, you project it out, but that other person is physically there.
Yes.
Like you're physically sat there. I'm not saying you're doing it now, but you're physically being an idiot. But what part am I playing in you being an idiot? You know, it's hard to see and identify that.
Yes.
Which is why a lot of people saying the victimhood have a pity party and can't move on from it. It's like, well, I'm okay. I can't see my wound. It has to be them.
Yeah. This is an important lesson. Because I have this conversation still to this day, doing this work and knowing the depths of humanity. But I'm still, I think I do. I think I've come to the conclusion that I do believe that absolutely everything is you. Do you believe that it's ever anyone else or anything else?
Me now,
You
is this a question to me?
personally, yeah.
Not now, no.
It's absolutely always you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is why I just take my time and so I'm like, right, so how have I done this?
How?
Because I fully believe it now.
Same. And that's what I was going to say. But that, to someone who doesn't understand it and see it and feel it and like see the repercussions of it, that is such a hard truth to accept.
Yeah, because it's like reality just comes shutting down. It's like, well, it's all, what is it?
Yeah.
It is hard.
What is reality?
Yeah, it is then. If everything's me, but that person sat there and they're real, then how does that work? Because you have one consciousness, you have a collective consciousness. So it's like, well, how can you have a collective, but it's also your world and your timeline and your vibration.
This is why shadow work always has to cross over into more spiritual conversation, because there's more than just the physical here.
Yeah.
Well, relationships and anything in life, you can't just look at it as the physical surface level thing. There's so much more going on, and you're always operating the reality that you're experiencing from the you.
Yes.
So whatever you are feeling is always going to be mirrored in something else, whether it's a relationship or a job or whatever. So how willing are you to see that there is more to life than just what you're physically experiencing?
Yeah. Do you know, broke it down for me, my boy Reggie, Robert Edward Grant, it was like, you attract what you judge until you no longer judge what you attract.
I liked that.
So I sat there and I was like, right, so what in my life do I not like that I judge? Or no, what in life general do I judge? I wrote a list. Now, what in my life is on this list? And it was probably 3/4 of it.
Wow.
So I'm like, so I have manifested my life from my judgments.
Yeah.
That's the clear evidence. Just write it down. What do you judge? What don't you like? What do you have an opinion on? Write it all down. Now look in your life. What have you got an opinion on in your life? It'll be the same.
Yeah, it
and
will
that's
be.
The judgment that you're attracting.
And that makes total sense, because if you look at day-to-day conversations, how many pity parties are out there where people are just complaining about things they don't want in their life, but yet they still keep experiencing them?
Yep.
Because that is what you're attracting.
And that's why I say to people, like, you know, everything's a choice. Like, I didn't have a choice. Well, you do, because you're choosing to complain, or you could choose to do something. You can either eat it or you can throw it away.
Yeah. That's the but energy. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Because I had this literally on the weekend where someone was coming to me with a problem. And this is another thing we need to discuss. I think this is not a podcast conversation, but the boundary of helping your friends when you're a coach is really difficult, because you talk about this stuff in day-to-day friendships. So how can you not enter coach mode is really hard for me.
So that's why we started this episode, for that. How you view people.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
We'll come back around full circle.
But what I was going to say on the side of that was, shit. I said, so someone came to me with a problem, and I was giving them advice. I started off like surface level friend advice, because I was like, I don't want to be working right now. They weren't taking it. Went deeper. They weren't taking it. And basically everything I suggested was a yeah, but this and yeah, but that. Then you have to face that you are choosing this reality. There is no solution to it, because you want this reality.
Yeah.
Some people like their problems.
Yeah.
And that's a really hard thing to face, because especially when you're talking about relationships, if you're with a man or a woman that you don't like being with, you're choosing to stay there. You're choosing the but, because there's always a choice to leave.
Yeah.
This is also just preface in this, that we get there are situations where you literally cannot leave. Or not that you cannot leave, but it's really fucking hard to leave because whatever is going on.
So I was just about to say that, you know, what you'll hear is, oh, well, I can't afford it, or we've been together this long, or I have to move back home. And it's like, well, that's still a choice. If you don't want to be there, there is choices. It might not be what you want, but there's always another choice.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay there. You don't have to keep doing this thing. I can't leave my job. Why? I'm earning too much. So you're choosing to stay there then because of the money you're earning, not because you enjoy the job.
Yeah. It's always fear, isn't it? Because I was thinking even more like more serious cases where there's like abuse going on and you cannot leave.
Yeah, that's different.
But it's different, but it's also the same theory.
Yeah.
Because it's the fear of leaving and what that repercussion will be.
Yes.
That is stopping you from leaving. So it always comes back down to that fear.
Yes.
So again, this is like a reflection of how important it is to keep doing the deeper questioning and the self-discovery, because only then can you see why those things are running your life. Until you look at that, they will just keep running your life until enough's enough.
Yeah. So you've hit rock bottom.
until you've hit rock bottom.
That's when it
literally.
normally is, isn't it? When people have you call it an awakening, or they want to change, when you've finally hit rock bottom and you've had enough.
Yeah.
And you think, fuck this, I can't be arsed anymore.
Yeah.
It isn't it? Yeah.
It literally is.
It's normally something traumatic happens and you want to make that change. Could be a divorce, a breakup, you lose your job, a death in the family or something. It's something like that. And that gives you
Sparks
that
it.
spark.
But I also do think there's a percentage of people that look inwards because they know there's more. Because I think I fall into that category, because nothing was necessarily like dramatized in my life. Nothing was like, this is enough is enough. I mean, there were situations that I now look at and I realize, how was I coping with that? But it wasn't what drove me into this. So I think
Do you not think, though? Do you not think it was just a period of things, a sequence of actions from when you was younger that pushes you towards the edge of the cliff?
I believe that some people come into the world like already, we've spoken about this, like already knowing that this is their purpose.
Yes, but so some people, I think some people reincarnate knowing, which are like the gurus and the monks and stuff. Like they're just there, they're born into a family to get straight into it.
Yeah.
Other people are activated. So even though we knew as a kid there was something going on, you have to go through life to get initiated to do this.
Yeah, which
you
is
couldn't
why
have done
we
this
choose the
20
traumas
years
we
ago.
choose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it all builds up to this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think though that, or maybe it was like subconsciously, it was the traumas or whatever I went through that took me here. But because I wanted to go into coaching before I even really was coaching myself. So I didn't experience the work before I wanted to do the work. I just knew I wanted to help people.
Yes.
And at the root of that was I wanted to help myself the most. So maybe it was subconsciously the traumas. But I don't even know how I got onto that point. Yeah, what I was trying to say is I think it's important to know that you don't have to wait until the worst case scenario to start looking inwards. Because I think that's where we're stuck in the world. It's like, we'll keep going until it's really bad.
Until I've had enough.
And then I'll do something about it.
But that's what we do, don't we? Even at work or whatever, it's like, it's not that bad. I'll wait till it gets worse and then I'll say something.
Yeah. It's not that bad. It's the worst
I'll allow it. I'll
ever.
put up with it. Yeah. It's not that bad. You sure? You moan about it every day. No, it's all right. So why talk about it every day then? It's got to be on your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, just be honest with yourself.
Hopefully, some things that we've discussed, activate, because that's what we do, activations, some thought processes, some questions, some tasks that you can do, like you said, writing down your judgments and seeing what parts of those you're attracting.
That were massive, yeah.
Some things to go away and use and practice and apply.
Yeah.
Remember, these things do not land instantly. They will take time. They will land in the subconscious when they're meant to land.
And if it triggers you in some capacity, it's meant to.
Yes.
So if it does trigger you, find out why it triggered you.
Yeah. The triggers are the lessons. The challenges is the guidance. So go away and take that information. Do what you will with it.
Yeah.
And join us in the next episode.
Peace.